Alright guys, we are here right now doing a service on the Seadoo Spark, on our Seadoo Spark. How many hours does it have?
It's about 35, but we're
About
just
35.
changing out the plugs. It's idling a little rougher. So we're gonna also do an oil change on it as well. You just need a couple things. It's very easy. We're gonna be removing the top deck so that we can change the plugs on there. I got a service kit on Amazon. It cost about 45 bucks. Comes with 3 NGK spark plugs, 2 quarts of BP oil, and then you also have your oil filter with seal. And it's really cheap. I mean, if you go to a dealership, they're gonna charge you around 450, 500 bucks just to do a 50-hour service or whatnot.
Oh, by the way, excuse the mess. The garage is a mess, but
yeah, we're in the middle of moving different stores and stuff around. But
yeah.
Anyways, you just need a couple things. You need a T30 bit for some of the nuts on the bottom here. You're gonna need a 10mm bolt, so you can just hold it and unscrew them. Basically, you're gonna need some dielectrical grease if you're gonna do your spark plugs. It's good to have. I always like to use this stuff, CRC Marine. It's 656. It's a lubricant spray for corrosion. It's great. Also, you're gonna need a oil extractor, which you can pick those up at West Marine, Bass Pro Shops. Amazon would be the cheapest, but this we use for our diesels on our Sportfish too. By the way, this is the Salty but Dots tender, guys. So this goes on our boat, and we use it, as a tender. But it's just time to do a little servicing on it.
Alright guys, so basically the next step is we're going to take off this whole black part. It's actually going to come off. So the first step is you're going to take off this screw right over here with the drill. And then this basically just slides down. You're going to do that on both sides. Next step is these come right out as well.
They're washers.
You're going to take those two out. Then you're going to come on over here. This is where your 10mm ratchet's gonna come in. So you're gonna put that under to hold the bolt. You're gonna hold that, and then you're gonna grab your washer, which these are very corroded, as you see, just from the salt water. Comes with a little washer in there, but see, they're just corroded. You have to take care of those and clean them with CRC. So basically, we're gonna actually go ahead and take all this side off, all these panels, and then we'll come back to you, show you how to take the front off, and then how to disconnect the steering and everything, and we'll show you step by step.
All right, guys. Sorry for the mess again. We're in the middle of moving different things around, but Jordan's gonna show you now.
So basically, the next step is you're gonna take off this front cover. Some jet skis don't have it, but we're gonna just take this off. You're gonna go 1, 2.
Do they have any washers in there?
3. There's no washers. Nope.
Okay.
4. And then last one, 5.
Okay.
So you got 5 bolts. Don't lose those. And then this should come right off.
Okay.
Put that down. Put the 5 bolts away so you don't lose them. I'll remove those.
Okay.
Then basically, once you have this off, you got this metal bolt right here. You're gonna take that off, which has a washer.
Okay.
You don't want to lose that. And then right here, there's 2 bolts here. This back one, the one closer to the steering wheel, don't actually take that one out. You don't need to. So you just take these 2 out, and then you take this one out.
So not these 2.
Exactly. So we took
Just
off
the
all
2.
the sides, and you take those 2 out, and then we'll show you what the next step is, but after you do this. So alright, so next step, we're actually going to take this seat off, and be careful with it. Put it somewhere. Okay, now what we're going to do is this one holds the gas tank in place. You're going to take out these 3 bolts right here. Those 3 bolts. Take those out. Okay. Now keep those 3 bolts. Now, next step, you're going to pull this cover off right here. Should come right off. Sharp. And put that aside. Now you're going to look in. I don't know if you can see very well, but you're going to look in here. There's 2 bolts. One here. Let's see if we can get the flash. All right. So basically, we got this bolt right here you're gonna take off. You're gonna use this. You're gonna take this out of your drill. You're gonna put on a number 7, like this. There's some light right here. It's hard to film at the same time, but you're basically, so I'll just tell you, you're gonna loosen those two, and then you're gonna come in here. If you see
Top bolt.
up there, it's actually kind of rusted, but there's a bolt right there.
That holds your steering cable on.
You can see it, yeah, right here. You're gonna take that, that's a number 10. You're gonna take this off, pull this steering rod off, put the bolt back in so you don't lose it, and then I'll show you how to pull this out, but just take that off with a 10 and take these both off right over here. 1, 2.
And then you might have to remove this cap when you pull it. I'm not sure because that's attached to your gas tank.
Yeah, we'll see once we pull it off, but we'll let you know.
You might not have to, but
we'll see.
It's raining, guys. But
Good day for a service.
yeah.
So basically, once we got these 2 bolts off, and then we got the 10mm, we just pulled it right off. Now it's loose. You see right here, it's loose.
Yep.
You can wiggle
Disconnect.
the jiggle right there.
And then that connects your steering.
Exactly. So now what we're gonna do is very easy. We're gonna open this up. Or is it this one? Like that. So you're gonna pull that out. Okay. Now, right in here, this is the steering. You're gonna actually just pull this. You're gonna pull it back like this. All right, guys. So we are sweating in the beta outs here. It is kind of hot out here, but next step, once you get your steering out, see, I just pulled it out. Just tucked it in there just so it's out of here. The next step, you're gonna take this, you're gonna pull this little red piece back, and then you're gonna push
down on it.
Push down.
All right, guys. So we got off the top. This is the Rotax. Basically, we're gonna do the plugs right now. So we already unplugged everything, right, George?
Yeah. So basically, these were all plugged in like that. We took them off, obviously.
Okay.
Before that, actually, you gotta unplug this one. So the way you're gonna get it is like this, and all these are gonna be plugged in. You pull this one out first, then you're gonna pull all these 3 out so you have access to the spark plugs. There's 3 spark plugs. Basically, these are the plugs like Jack was showing in the beginning, the ones he bought.
What's the model on
The
them?
NGK 7784 CR8EB.
Those are the stock plugs for this.
I'm sure you can get those, like you said, on Amazon, but different stores probably have them.
Now they should come pre-gapped, so you shouldn't have touched the gap. We don't put the anti-seize on there, but we're going to show you how to do that. Go ahead.
Yeah, so basically this is the same star key.
T30.
T30, so we're just going to go like this. Go very slow because you don't want to drop the stuff in there. Careful. So now this, you can kind of wiggle it. It should come off. Okay. There you go. So looks like it's in good condition. If you look in there, you can see the spark.
Just make sure you don't get anything in there. You want to keep those real nice and clean.
Right over here, yeah, you don't want to get anything. We cleaned this area before. This is a 5/8 on a set, so I believe.
And it's counterclockwise, lefty loosey, righty tighty.
Okay, so you're gonna put this in there slow. Okay, once it's on, you're just gonna
break them loose.
Break them loose.
Take that off.
Keep going till it comes out. All right. Yeah. Oh yeah. So these sparks. So basically, the jet ski was acting a bit funny. These plugs definitely needed to be changed. If you go on the light over here, see they don't look so good. These plugs. All right. So just to show you, this is the old one versus the new one. It's focusing on it. Definitely needed to be changed. I mean, jet ski's acting a bit funny, so that could be why some of the spark plugs could be not firing correctly. All right, so you're just gonna take a little bit of dielectric grease just to help. And just put a little bit on the top right here. Just kind of smudge it in. Not too much, just very little like this. Rub it on there. It's a thin coat, like the excess. So basically you're gonna put this on here. And then you're gonna take this, there's a little O-ring on there, so just go slow right here like that.
You don't want to cross thread this, so you want to go very slow.
Very carefully, just so you don't cross thread.
Goes in easy.
Yeah, let's see if it's going in. Let's do it slow. Okay.
And you want to just do it to where it's hand tight.
So now that's hand tight. Now I'm gonna take this. Pop it on, and then you're gonna go from here. Let's say that's 12 o'clock. And you go to 3 o'clock. So, right here, that's 3 o'clock. That's a quarter turn right there. And you're just gonna wiggle it, and there you go. Then you're gonna take this, put it back the same way you got it.
Now you don't have to snug them down too tight, right? Just to where you feel it's in the crank.
Exactly. So you do hand tight like this, hand tight as tight as you can. It's gonna stop. Then you just take it from 12 o'clock to 3 o'clock. You're gonna do a quarter turn.
Yeah, I think it's like, I think it was 18 pounds of torque or something like that. I'm not sure.
Yeah, exactly. And then you're just gonna take this. You're gonna put this guy back in here. Go slow. And then
that's it.
You're good with that. We're gonna do the rest, and then we're gonna show you how to do the oil change and the oil filter.
So you're gonna repeat that process on the second and third, and then reconnect everything else. All right, guys. So basically, what we did was we put these all three back on. They have screws on each one. Put this clip and the 3 clips right here. So now the sparks are done.
1, 2, 3.
And we did a quarter turn to tighten.
12 o'clock to 3 o'clock. Don't over crank it.
Used a little bit of dielectric grease. We didn't use any of the anti-seize on the threads because NGK spark plugs recommend it not to, that they're coated with a special coating that they shouldn't seize. So we left that alone. And now what we're gonna do is we're gonna drain the oil from the dipstick, and we're also gonna show you how to change out the filter on the oil filter.
That's oil filter.
Then we'll put the top back on and we're all good for the service.
So basically this is your dipstick right over here. That's your level. So we're actually I'm gonna get a towel, but basically what we're gonna do is we are going to take that pump over there that he was showing you, and we're actually gonna stick the hose right down this, all the way down to the bottom. Once you stick the hose down, you're actually gonna feel it. Once it hits the bottom, you'll feel that. And then basically it'll suck all the oil out, and then we'll show you how to add the oil. But we'll be right back. All right, so what we're doing right now is he actually suctioned this, created a suction, and the oil, you can see it's coming out, but it comes out very slowly. But basically just push this all the way down and then lift it up a hair, and then just let it do its work right there. All right, so basically we just finished. You hear the gurgling once it's done, but it filled up exactly 2 quarts. Yeah, right here. So that's 1, 2. This holds about 6.5 quarts, I think. But so that's that. Now we're gonna show you how to fill it up. So we got Pop here.
Hey, Pop.
Hey, good job,
actually,
guys.
we were trying to find the right key for that. This is actually an inverted. What were you saying? Inverted star?
I believe it's an inverted Torx. It's called.
Yeah. So we tried the 7. It wasn't working. The 6.5 millimeter is working okay. So basically, you just put them on here. You're gonna loosen it up. You want to do this equally. And same thing when you're tightening it. You want to do it equally. That's what you should always do that. And
now some people do the oil change with the top on. You perfectly can do it. The only part that would be messy would be taking off this filter from the access port on the side there. So that's the hardest part.
that's 1 screw.
Those are your screws right
I'm
there.
gonna move this because it's probably gonna have oil. I'm gonna need 2.
But since we had to do the plugs, we just took off the whole top, and we're gonna just spray down the engine, clean up whatever we normally don't, and then we'll put everything back together, fill the oil. And how many hours does this Spark have? It not much.
20.
I think we just
30?
hit 30, 32 or something like that, which I think it recommends first 20-hour service and then at 50 after that. So
Yeah, we don't put many hours on it, so we figure we just do 1 service and it'll last us for as long as we use it for now. Because it is a tender, so we just use it once in a while.
yeah, we just use it, go to sandbars, go to the islands.
Pull this off.
Yeah, the whole filter should come out. Yeah.
See that oil right here? We're going to let that drain. So we're just letting this oil out right here. It'll be here till tomorrow, so we'll just do like this. And that's it.
Okay.
Then we'll replace it with the new one. I believe
Yeah,
that.
it might be a little hard to get off, but I'll show you how to do it.
All right.
Yep. So that top that goes on there, and
then we're
throw
gonna pop.
this away.
Where's the new one? You got the new one?
It's over there in the. Anyways, guys, so what I was showing you was basically that's the inside of the oil canister filter. And then you're gonna have an O-ring on here, which you're gonna change out, and you're also gonna change out a new filter.
Okay. So
You're just getting out the filter.
yeah, so this part's on the bottom. The O-ring you were saying goes on here. So
You might need a pick or something like that. Now, even if it's good, if you have a brand new one, I would change it, just because you don't want to have more problems or any.
yeah, O-rings and seals, you always want to change them up. You just want to clean this area up a little. Like on our last video, if you haven't seen it, if you like the video, by the way, subscribe now, give it a like. But on our last video with the on the diesels, the one that this goes on, you know, you always got to change your O-ring. So you just lube it up a bit, not much. Just take this O-ring, put it on like that, put just a light layer of oil on it, and then you're gonna take this, you're just gonna pop it on the same way.
Perfect. You're gonna hear a little snap.
Yeah, exactly.
And there you go. There's your new filter. Now you can drain out some of this oil in there.
I think we'll leave it.
All
right, so now that you got the O-ring on, you lubed it up with a little bit of oil. We're basically going to take this and you're going to put it on the same way you got it. Just like that. Make sure your O-ring's on there. You do not want to put this on without that.
It creates a seal on there.
Drop this in, see? It's already starting to soak in the oil. Put it in slowly.
Do you feel any kind of click or anything, or it just sits down?
No kind of click, but I guess the O-ring just seals it. So now, important. Don't tighten these. You got to tighten these all
same
equally. Yeah, so be careful so you don't drop it, because that's just a pain. Put that in a little bit. When you're working on engines, you should always do it equally whenever you're tightening something down. Put this last one in right here.
We're also going to be doing a video on our new dinghy with a brand new Suzuki outboard 15. We'll give you a rundown on that. We're also going to do a service video on that, 20-hour service.
Yeah, I think right now we're at like 6 hours on that.
Mm-hmm.
We have to get to 20, and then we're going to do the service. But what are we going to do? Just a video on showing the motor and stuff?
Motor and just what it is and whatnot.
Okay, so now you're going to reverse that. And you're going to do one turn right there till it's tight. Turn right there till it's tight. And this one's getting there. So from here, you're just going to give it like that, like half of a quarter turn.
Not even too tight. You don't got to crank down on these. Because don't forget, when you want to get them off,
yeah, exactly,
you're going to have an issue.
You don't want to gorilla tightening them.
You don't.
So now what we're going to do, we'll be right back with you. We're going to show you how to fill up the oil.
All right.
Oh, and I forgot to say, we just put these towels here just in case. It wasn't bad, but just in case you had any oil dripping.
Now we're going to fill, and we'll be back. Guys, last step, Jordan's going to show you how to fill, and it's going to take 2 quarts, and it should be good.
So basically, you're going to just take off the cap. There it comes with a little seal, so you know it's brand new. I already took it off, like a little metal seal. And basically, you're gonna hold this real good because you do not want to spill that. And you're just gonna go like that slowly. And you're gonna fill her up.
Fresh, good oil.
Yeah, because you do not want to spill this; it will ruin your day.
Yeah, it's just a mess.
Big cleanup. So basically, you just pour it in like that.
Oh, Pop's here. What's up, Pop?
Looks good.
So that's one.
Did you empty the oil? Oh.
All right.
The second one. Let's go.
And what is that? That's SAE5W40 synthetic blend.
Yeah.
You don't have to use synthetic, but for the summer and stuff
But I
like
think
that.
once you use synthetic, you have to stick with it.
You should stick with synthetic if
I
you
mean,
do.
normally we work on diesels, but I know that's.
We're not too much of gassers, guys. We like to work on more diesels and stuff, but don't forget, toys are toys, and they are going to be gas, unless you got the little diesel bolts, which are pretty cool. Okay, so that's 2 quarts.
Yeah, right in the hole of it. Oh. Alright, so basically we're just cleaning up the seals here. You know, the end where you really can't get to when the top's on. Just all this area was just all dirty. So we're cleaning that up, and then basically what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna we're cleaning down the engine, but we're gonna mist it down with some CRC. Like we showed you before, CRC 656. Really good stuff. Just lubricant. But basically we're gonna mist it. We'll show you how we do that. So we're gonna do the CRC now. I basically start right here. You know, electrical connections. You're gonna kind of mist everywhere you don't want to corrode on here.
Now this is just gonna prevent. You can do the block.
We like to just spray it all over, just to.
That will prevent the corrosion from the salt and all that. Get all in down there. Make it look new.
And then what we're gonna do is just the overspray. We're gonna just kind of run over it, so it's not too much, but just gonna hit the overspray like that. But this does help, just so it doesn't corrode and everything.
Oh yeah, you could even spray your battery terminals. Those are also good.
But you don't have to wipe it all. Just if there's any like too much excess or
Drip.
anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you don't.
Oh,
really
you didn't spray that. You should spray.
Yeah, I did.
You did? Okay.
Yeah. All right. So basically, we're gonna put the cover back on. It's right over there. We don't really have much room because it was raining, but.
Yeah, real crappy day, but. Real crappy day, but.
The same way we got it off, we're gonna put it back on that same way. Tighten all the bolts, you know. But that's it. That's how you do a service on the.
And we're gonna start it up. Well, then we'll check the oil as well. But we did check it, and it's at the right marks right now. But of course, you got to start the engine too. So
Exactly.
You sprayed in there, Jordan?
Yep.
All right. And yeah, she looks like she just rolled off. Showroom. All right, guys. So we just finished putting the top back on the top deck. Connected all the screws. Make sure that's all good. Once you do start it up for about 30 seconds, you want that oil to penetrate through the filter and all that. Then let it sit for 10 minutes. Let that oil drain back down. Check your oil. Make sure it's in between the high and the low, and then you're good to go. But it does, as for Seadoo recommends, it's 2 quarts. That's for the service. And we also did the plugs. We showed you how to do that.
Right now we're flushing it.
So now we're just going to turn it on. Use the hose to flush it, not more than a minute or 2, and warm up that oil.
And the high and the low, and you should be good to go.
There you go, guys. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you want any other videos, dinghies, stuff like that. How to maintain stainless steel.
Anything with the beta.
Yeah, anything with the salty dots, we got you guys.
We got you.
Thanks for
See you
watching.
later.